we're good. Monologue time.
Woo! Last we had left off, a lot of shit had happened. The Spectrum had finally broken their way out of the Golden Tesseract, though rather by accident, as their fight with Puck sort of moved into a different context as you all were shunted outside of the Golden Tesseract, right in front of most of the Fey court. And as you all sat there attempting to piece together a sort of, was it a plea? I don't really know what it was. All I know is that you guys really wanted to show Queen Titania and King Oberon a statue of Venom with a 19-inch penis.
I think it started out as a plea, and then eventually we realized we were gonna die, so we were like, "You want to see it anyways?"
Yeah.
Wait, we needed a reason to do that?
No, that figures. As you all showed off your piece of art, slowly but surely enough, kind of actually lulling Queen Titania into conversation. And as she stood there making a declaration, likely that was going to precede your execution, you saw a green doorway open and one William step out. After a bit more conversation, William got close enough to Puck to utter the words, "I wish for what was once mine." And as Puck sort of shunted, we'll call it, was sucked into Willie's form, Willie himself becoming an odd, writhing mass of this green magic energy. Eventually, you all were taken to a space far further away from this little staging ground. Here you found out that one Ratatosker was going to be sort of running a war effort. Now, this is not an official war by any means. In fact, the scale of it is not. No, we would call it a large skirmish and not a war. But as you all were kind of given separate assignments, each one of you receiving a different level of cool technology, you all kind of gathered for moments, said what you needed to say to each other, had a few friends come by, and before you know it, it's time to go. As you all prepared yourselves, we left on a rather sad note. As each one of you following your own member of the Faceless, though Ezekiel, you're following a ragtag team of people who you don't know. You gain an odd sense of hope as you all notice the disposition of each member of the Faceless. And as we hop back into it, ooh, I'm having a hard time deciding on who to start on because they're all so fun. Let's start with the quiet group, Eldon and Spicy. You two currently making your way through these dense forests of the Feywild. You've been walking for hours at this point. It is taken, you'd say about 2.5 hours to get to the point you're at, which you don't know where you're going. As you sort of march onwards. Eldon, would you be doing anything in particular? Perhaps any tune of any kind?
Well, we're supposed to be sneaky, aren't we?
Sure. You can lightly play a bit of music as it is a part of your kit. I wouldn't just want to take that away from you.
Just whistle then.
You can play a silent tune.
I'll just whistle.
Fair enough. Quite enough not to cut through all of this dense vegetation. Though, just loud enough for everyone in your current platoon to hear you. You can see Rat and Boogeyman kind of taking lead on this, though they are not by far the only soldiers here. In fact, with you gathered appear to be tons of different men and women of tons of different races. Majority of which are human, though that is not uncommon in most places. As you kind of continue along, gathered in this small little platoon here, eventually Rat will call out to Eldon and Spicy. Yeah, Spicy, he'll get you in on this. He turns around. Hey, Eldon, Spicy, get up here.
Alright.
You two eventually move in towards kind of the middle of Rat and the Boogeyman, each one taking a different spot on the front line here. As Rat kind of looks at you, Eldon. Right. So we're conducting quiet kills. This means Rat looks down for a second, thinks about something. You don't have to participate in the initial set off. The Boogeyman looks over. He's uncomfortable and simply can't say it. We're killing men in their sleep. I understand the possible apprehension. So, if you don't wish to, you simply don't have to. Though once the battle gets well and truly started, we do intend for you to join in.
Mhm. I'm trying to become a better person, so I'm just not gonna get involved with the killing in the sleep.
I got it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he's got that.
As you look over to the Boogeyman Spicy, just, yeah, no, all good. Boogeyman nods as he goes back to his quiet observations. Rat, on the other hand, still talking to Eldon. Right. So, once we get there, our first target, all I know, is an armory, or makeshift. They're using it as a small outpost to try and fit as many ground troops as they can with, well, not the best weapons they can, but with kind of what they got. Really, I hate to say it. Our technology here is our advantage. So we're gonna go in quiet. We're gonna clear a good half of the camp before most of them wake up.
Mhm.
Rat turns around to look at the rest of the soldiers. Turns back to you. They I only really give this choice to you. They got lives ahead of them to rectify this mistake, but for now I'm not gonna stop a man who's joined up to fight. At the same time, I can't help but look at those guys and wonder, they're not making the best life decisions, are they? As Rat stops for a second. I guess I'm not the one to judge that, though. You know what, never mind. He continues pushing forward. Takes another about 30 minutes or so before eventually you all get to not a clearing, but a point in which more swamp appears to have taken over the land down here. It's becoming slightly more bog like, with a thick rolling fog having moved throughout the space. Very advantageous for you guys. And as you all kind of navigate up to a higher plane here, a hill just above the entire encampment, you can see now. You could be a spotter, you could not, but either way, Rat and Boogeyman are offering you kind of like a position to spot. You can both make me perception checks if you want to try and spot out anything really big or specific. But for just in general, you see a lot of soldiers out on patrol who are moving into tents, and you see that a lot of the personnel here are thinning out on guard duty, so this is perfect timing for you.
Well, I got a
So-
7 on perception, so
Okay.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Okay. As you both kind of notice the general vibe of the place, though, and you can't really spot out any bigger weapons, bigger beasts, you don't know what's in here. As Rat kind of remarks, just, alright, usually I'm far more enthusiastic, but this even feels a little rushed. Doesn't matter. Me and the rest of the team are moving first. You guys hang back here with Boogeyman. Alright, you guys are our call it cavalry.
Alright. Do you want it to actually be the
Um,
cavalry? Because I can make a horse.
If you would like to, it is not necessary, but could be rather fun. As Rat smiles, spicy. Come on.
I'm gonna take the horn off my unicorn.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh! As you, Spicy, move in now with Rat. Would Spicy have any particular way of sneaking into a place? Would he prefer to disguise himself? Would he prefer to simply try and move around without being seen? Or is he going up one by one to every alive guard he sees, making them dead very quickly and very quietly?
I lurk in the shadows. I am dark.
Gotcha.
Yes, I am the
I am the shadows. As
Dead.
you dive into some of the brush here, go ahead and give me a stealth check. I'll roll one for Rat.
Number, what is it? 28.
28. Very good. Okay. As you kind of scoot through here, you are mostly on the outer edge of the camp, kind of trying to edge in as close as you can, but every time you try and get a little closer, one of these guards walks by and you are forced to bail on your path at the risk of being seen. These guys have it locked down pretty well. By the way, when I say guys, I realized I haven't described the Fae you are fighting. It is the citizens, kind of. They look far more trained and they look like a military force, but these are still just animal people of all different kinds, shapes, sizes. Spicy. I'll actually go ahead and give you a question. If someone were perfectly in your way, like this giant brown bear guard currently is, would you attempt to call out for help in the current moment, or would you prefer to blitz the guy and hope you kill him with your own strength?
The second one.
Figures. Okay. You have 6 darts that can be thrown from hiding and won't reveal your location. So go ahead, do your thing.
Is that 6 darts?
Yeah, they're darts. They're not magical or anything. They are just the batarangs, quote unquote. Batarangs
just
themselves
daggers?
aren't actually that special. Huh?
Weren't those just daggers?
They do the same thing.
Okay, I just put them in
Daggers
my
have a thrown
daggers.
distance of
I was like,
darts, and daggers, yeah, they're fine.
gotcha. How many like people around? How big does this guy look? And
Okay. I like this. You're being smart. As you look at this guy, easily around 6'8", maybe approaching 7 foot. This is a brown bear. You would venture a guess that a guy with this good of kit, probably a little more higher ranking. You're probably looking at maybe a lieutenant of some kind. Though you're not actually sure. Or actually, No, you would be very positive. Because your gang would have used the similar military style ranking in their own ranks. I haven't thought of that before. I should give you more advantages on that. And as you look at this guy, it might take some doing, but he's about 10 feet too close, and he's too big of a guy for someone not to notice him going down right now.
So no matter what, someone would notice him going down.
Yeah, but he's only like 10 feet in the view of everyone else.
So kill everyone else. No, I'm joking.
I mean, it's an idea, but
In a video game, this is where I would be like, press the D-pad for a distraction.
okay, I have a crazy idea. And I want you to let me know if I can do this or not,
Okay,
and how this would work if I was to do it.
I like this.
Is there a cliff nearby?
There is a pretty steep hill that would do the same thing as a cliff. It just doesn't have a flat surface.
Okay. So, hypothetically, of course, if I perchance had a wood penis that I would shove down his throat,
Oh
so that
my
he
God.
would get gagged to talk, and then proceeded to tie a grappling hook around him and throw him off the cliff.
Hmm.
How would one go about doing that?
Try to stealth kill him, but
Hold on.
I'll
He's
tell
on to
you
something.
what, actually. You're kind of on his own here.
I'm thinking of it as
You-
like the Spider-Man stealth kills in the game, but like
Yeah.
more, but shoving a dick in their throat instead.
That is
Crazy.
also what I'm imagining.
By the way, which of your keychain are you choosing to do this? Are you going with like a pretty modest 5, or are you going all the way for the 12, hoping to just kill this guy?
Who said keychain?
Oh.
Oh,
my God.
lordy.
I think he's just taking
Oh,
the
a great
original wooden
club.
one.
I think he wants to
Yeah,
use the
no,
wooden
no.
bottle opener.
No, just the original wooden
Big
bottle
boy
opener.
12.
God damn. I will say this hill is not exactly
might
what you need to
asphyxiate.
do this.
Right.
Maybe. But you could, if you were able to somehow lure him close enough to the base of one of the trees, you could do something quite effectively similar as a Batman takedown in Arkham
Yeah, and just hang him.
and just hang him.
Yeah.
Of course, you can still, shove the dick down his throat before you hang him, but still.
How many Peni keychains were passed out earlier? Who took a Peni keychain?
I did.
I took one.
I
I
took
take
one.
an inventory here. So,
I got
I'm
one
down
and Mika
to
got
three.
one.
I got one too.
I thought
I was disappointed, but I took one.
So I'm down 4, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Paige, did you get
So I
one?
can take inventory.
Sage said he did not want one.
I initially said I also didn't want one, but then I'm like,
I
fine.
don't know how long mine is.
Yeah, how long are they? Are you rolling? Or like, are you just
Hey,
counting?
let me roll.
Did we
Everyone
get to
roll a
choose?
d12.
Well, no, no,
Yay!
no.
Wow.
You
Well,
guys
everyone
can
gets the
roll, yeah.
roll. Let's go.
D20.
Okay, no,
I've
no,
been
it's a
waiting
D8.
so long.
Oh, it's a D8?
Don't do
Okay.
D12,
Oh,
because the biggest one is 8 inches that I made for
Okay.
the keychains.
mine's
Uh,
5.
well,
Mine is
12
3.
inches.
And mine's bigger than yours.
I got a 1.
Mine
Yes, the
is
wooden one is, Mika.
Oh my god.
iPod.
Can I re-roll?
What?
No.
Nope.
It's
What you
just
got? Did you get a 1?
No, I got a 4. It's fine.
Why are you
I
complaining
got
about a
a
reroll?
3.
I got a 1!
I got a 3. Like,
What the fuck you mean,
Nice
can I
high
reroll?
point. 4 is
I
a
don't want it
lot.
to be average.
4 is, I think, actually too much. Some would say.
It's above average.
Oh my god.
I love how every
Could
time
never
this comes
handle
up.
19 inches of venom.
It's way too much. Extremely unnecessary. At least 18 inches too much. Anyways.
anyway.
They've point of DM inspiration, Ezekiel. That's dumb and awesome. Oh. Okay.
Fire, I have one for each now.
My
Wait till I
God.
put that in my inventory, shouldn't I?
I mean, I'm not going to because it's not usually important, but it's just attached to my gun.
Spicy, how would you like to attempt to lure this guy over to you to get him out of view of everyone else?
So I did take inventory of the P9 keychains, so I'm going to throw one of the P9 keychains on the ground over by like a tree or something.
Are you gonna
and just,
Hitman rock this guy? Is that what's happening right now?
Let's see, what would this be? To do this successfully and for the guy to not see where the Peni come from, go ahead and roll me sleight of hand.
Okay. Let's see. 22.
Hell yeah. You, before you climb up the tree, decide to throw it out from the brush and have it perfectly stick into the muddy, swampy floor. It is kind of just sticking up, and that little glint that comes off of the semi-bottle opener portion, or just metal backing of it. My gosh. This bear man. Oh, he does not roll well. As he looks over, what was that? Huh. He begins to stroll over towards the base of the tree, look down. Is this a penis? As he picks up the wooden penis for a moment before looking up to see maybe it came from the sky, to only see a pair of green dragon eyes from the shadows shining bright as the rest of you is encumbered in the darkness. Go ahead and make your attack. With advantage.
So
What is the
am
attack
I
roll to
not
hang a
allowed to,
man?
like, yeah, am I not just allowed to hang him?
I mean, yes, he will still likely live as this tree is tall, but it'll take him like 5 minutes to strangle all the life out.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if you want to just leave him there hanging like some poor sick pinata, you can. Or if you want to just take your chances and try and murder him extra, you can also just take an attack.
I think I'll just go for the hanging, but make sure to throw the bottle opener in the mouth first, so you
Oh.
can't speak or make noise.
Go ahead and give me an attack roll for that. Just for that.
17.
As this bear, mouth agape, looking around. What the fuck? Before he is lassoed by the bottom of his foot, brought into the tree, you reorient him so you may hang him by his neck before kicking him out the top, pulling the other side taut, and just leaving him hanging a good 30 feet above the ground as he attempts to breathe and can't. Spicy, go ahead and give me perception.
An 8.
8. You don't notice the presence? Literally right behind you, sitting in the tree, is Rat, and he's just going. Necessary?
Never.
Very.
Is anything
That's
we
just
do
the process.
necessary at this point?
As he. No. Simply acknowledges that you've done that and can't do anything about it. Will simply move down from the tree now before looking at the rest of the encampment. Alright. I can take out the rest of the guys. You go ahead into the sleeping tent, be very quiet, and I mean, I would say don't choke them on a wooden penis because that will be loud. Just, slit their necks. But you do you. Kind of pats you on the upper hip as he can't reach your shoulder, and then just walks away.
The upper hip.
Yeah. Before
Hey,
finally just
Before you go, I
yeah.
have a peanut for you.
Which
It
one do
has
you
to be
give
the
him?
biggest one.
I'll give him the big. I'll give him
Before
the
you
big boy.
leave, take my dick.
You leave. The big son of the punch. You just hand him your biggest one that you have. You just use the biggest one to kill the other card. You hand it to him. No, never mind. You don't know that. You don't know that. I'm gonna go. He
Amara shared.
tucks away a penis that looks suspiciously like his penis before he ducks back into the shadows and does what he does best. Spicy, to go ahead and sneak into a tent full of sleeping men, I'm going to need a very good stealth check.
Does his do-rag of elven kind give him anything? Or is it just or is it just people have disadvantage on perception against him?
In this, usually I haven't been saying it because it's just been a thing. That will always give you advantage on stealth checks.
That's what I've been doing.
I was gonna say, doesn't he
Okay,
just
okay.
permanently have
I
it
just
too?
assume. Okay.
Okay, good.
I thought I was doing something wrong, but
I was like,
Like,
oh
I-
no,
it
has he
gave
not been
me-
rolling
it
advantage?
gave me the advantage next to the stealth thing, and so I've just been doing it on all the stealth
Oh, yeah.
checks.
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
I thought that I was doing that correctly, and so I'm glad I am. And so it's what even is my modifier? Is it +10 now, not +9? I'm a thug like that. They don't know me, son. 24.
They don't know me, son.
24. As you duck inside, you see pretty classic looking military barracks of 2 stacked bunk beds, and you quickly realize your predicament here. As you look around and see a stack of men on top of another stack of men.
Pause.
Pause. Men and women, they're co-ed here in the Feywild. But
Quality.
you see, you're gonna have to kill all of the people on the bottom before you go to all of the people on the top bunks. Because if you kill all the people on the top bunks, all of their blood will leak down onto the people in the bottom bunks. And as you realize, you either have to take this one by one or go row by row. This becomes a far more complex puzzle of murder than you expected. As we just leave you there for a moment. Eldon, you are still sitting up on this hill, kind of trying to lock in, and actually, if we get some insight into what Eldon's thinking at the current moment. You're not a big war guy, you never fought in any for any particular reason.
Dodge the previous one.
Indeed. What are your feelings now? Just a bit of Eldon's internal monologue, if you would.
La da da, la da dee.
That's crazy.
This is fun.
No, I'm like, I have the worst feeling that shit is gonna go sideways in the worst way possible.
Eldon, being the constant skeptic, it's kept you alive for a long, long time. You are still looking down, trying to spot out targets. You can give me another perception check if you'd like.
Oh wait, this is the wrong character sheet. 13.
13. On a 13, you look around. Nothing too major in this armory, it actually looks like. It looks very basic, which makes you even a little more sad about what's going to happen. As you look through, there are no giant or major weapons being brought through here. This is just mainly a camp full of people. Though people is their main advantage over you.
Mhm.
And as you look at this thing, you see the boogeyman lean over to you. Hold on. I'd
Mhm.
like to ask a favor of you, and if it makes you feel any better, It won't be direct. Would you so kindly, when the fighting starts, just light that barracks tent on fire?
Oh yeah. Just a big fireball with that, yeah.
Yep. As the boogeyman looks over, he's pointing to the second barracks tent. He's making an assumption that they might not make it through the first. But again, being a pessimist never hurt anyone. In this specific situation, don't just take that as life advice that I just gave out. As Eldon, you look, kind of just spotting out different guards now moving, though the movement has become less. And as you see what is possibly the last guard in the station looking out towards you all, as he would have been the last to go, you see creeping up behind him, pulling out a rather large knife before slitting his neck open. Rat just kind of wipes it in the center of his arm, looking up at the hill. Gives you a little wave, nod, before turning around, looks at the entire encampment. It looks like he gives a signal to the boogeyman that is like, hold off, but be ready. And as Rat goes in to join Spicy, in what way have you started slowly but surely killing all these people?
Down the line.
Hell yeah. You go ahead and just give me stealth first, then sleight of hand. Your stealth is to obviously see how far you can walk through here, and your sleight of hand is to see how quiet you are at getting at someone's neck before just cutting it.
Stealth is not 20, and then sleight of
Hell
hand
yeah.
is 29.
Very, very good. I wanted you to know the DC for this. It's a room full of people. It's like 25. You're doing very good. As Spicy, are you choosing any particular implement, or are you just picking a random short sword as just that's the killing one?
That's the killing.
That's the killing one, probably.
You just pull whichever one is in your dominant hand. This is now the murder tool.
I think I'll do one short sword, one dagger, just for a little artistic flair.
As you quickly realize there's a reason people use these in close range. As you are going through some of the last bit of the row, one man wakes up and very, very quickly you plant the short sword through his throat and place the dagger in his forehead. And you see you get a bit of resistance from the forehead, but as you slowly crack through like a walnut or a crab shell, this guy is making a lot of noise. Go ahead and give me athletics to attempt to wrestle this guy over and to have him simply bleed out into his pillow.
What's 9 plus 13?
9 plus 13? That was going to be a 22.
That.
Guy rolls a natural 2, which makes sense. There's a knife in his neck. As you, Spicy, just flip him over very quickly, all of his gurgles simply fall into his pillow, dampening the sound as you kind of push his head down on the blade, only making it go further through, before finally turning him back over once he has thoroughly bled through his mattress, before pulling both blades. It is at this moment Rat walks in very quietly, looks at the situation. Fuck. Meeting outside? That's as Rat kind of beckons you outside the tent again. You are both two very stealthy boys just having a conversation. As Rat pulls you out. I'm gonna be honest, I thought they were gonna like be sleeping on top of each other and not like on bunk beds. This is kind of an issue. You've already gone down the bottom row, which I thank you for. Not top row though. Looks at the other tent. Tell you what. Spicy, would you like a real gun?
Sure.
Okay. As he reaches behind, this is the only sidearm I have, though technically I already use a sidearm. You see, he pulls out a old school looking Old West revolver. This thing is like probably what they had on hand for Rat just to kind of pull as a secondary. But you see Rat, right? There's about 14 guys in there. We got 6 shots each. The last 2 were knives, but as soon as we start shooting, shit's gonna go down. So I'll signal to the boogeyman. But you've shot one of these before, right? As Rat just quickly realizes he handed a gun to someone he doesn't know if he can use a gun.
Yeah.
Okay. Spicy, as you kind of hold this thing, it is unlike the Glock, your own invention. And as you look at it, you can kind of tell how this thing works. You don't really have any trouble with it. But oddly enough, you walk back into the tent, still quiet, and actually see this thing won't punch through a lot of stuff. But the way the bunk beds are oriented, everyone has to sleep one way, and there are no sides to the either edge of the bunk bed. And as you look, you quickly realize there is 1 head, then 2 heads, then 3 heads, then 4 heads. As you quickly realize there is a perfect collateral shot to simply fire straight through and hopefully hit a lot of guys at once.
Okay.
You kind of take your position before looking out. You do this frighteningly successfully. This is just the first little armory on your guys' stop. But as you cock back the gun as quietly as possible, Eldon Rat walks outside once more, and he's giving you the go, as in
Alright.
light the other tent on fire.
Firing the Peacemaker at it.
Hell yeah. And as you are sort of the signal shot, I mean, go ahead and give me an attack roll. The Peacemaker can always just blow up, but
Yeah. A dirty 20.
there you go. As you fire any particular special round, or you just fire a cannonball into a tent?
Nah, I don't think I even have any more special rounds.
Fair enough.
So yeah, just a regular cannonball.
You fire this thing out, it explodes upon impact. Not typical of a cannonball, but this is the goddamn Peacemaker. And as you fire at Eldon, there's a sense it's not mass murder, it's mass manslaughter. And as you fire a hole into the tent, you actually see all of the other soldiers in the platoon who are close by begin to push heavy carts in front of each of the tent flaps and begin to pile on stuff. Some you see are even taking small bags of gunpowder and just throwing it through holes in the tent. They're just going to let these guys burn and don't really want to waste the ammo or the manpower on possibly getting attacked. And Spicy, you hear a cannonball go off. Go ahead and give me an attack roll with advantage just to see how many heads you can pop at once.
Is this just a flat roll?
No, with advantage. They're asleep.
No, but like, do I have like any?
Oh, sorry. You're adding your dex to this because it's a gun.
Okay, then 21.
Hell yeah. Go ahead and these soldiers don't have a lot of HP. They're just foot soldiers. So go ahead and roll all of your sneak attack and all your damage dice, and we'll just see how many you kill.
How much damage does the gun do?
The gun itself does a D10.
What type of gun is it? Also, is it just the standard pistol one, or what is it?
Yeah, just add pistol. There is unfortunately
Gotcha.
no distinction between pistol and revolver, which I think is dumb.
Yeah.
Well, there is actually just a revolver too, but it's not the Exandria
Yeah, it's
one.
not the Exandria one. It's not as well thought out.
Oh, firearms are actually just in the 2024 like rules now.
Or are they finally just a part of the
Yeah,
game?
because there's a revolver in it
Hell
that
yeah.
does 2d8 plus 2 or 2d8.
Shit,
Sorry.
fuck.
Yeah.
Spicy, I'll have you know I'm rolling a d4 for all of these guys' health. It's not going well.
Okay. And so it's 1d10 plus 4 for the gun, right?
Yeah, 1d10 plus 4 plus all your sneak attack dice. Oh
Mhm.
my gosh.
Putting the thing in my inventory. So it's going to be a total of 20 damage. Oh, wait, no. 24 plus 4.
Alright, let me
So
do some
24.
simple addition just to see how many health bars you breeze through in one go. Spicy, you shoot through 8 men's head at once as you pull back the hammer, fire. You see the first guy, there is a small entry wound, as the exit wound is a gaping hole in the other side of his temple. Before the pellet continues to travel through, hit another guy, hit another guy, hit another guy, and you kill 8 men in 1 bullet, which might be a new record. As for everyone else, Rat is just currently fanning his hammer down on the rest of the guys in here. And I'd make you roll for it, but you guys have overwhelming odds. And as you put down the final guy, Spicy, you realize you don't have any ammo for this gun. As Rat just kind of walks over. It's been about 10 minutes since the fighting has cooled down. Fire is still burning, but you've all moved away from it. And for now, it just looks like Rat is picking through whatever armories here, as the boogeyman is just sort of doing the same thing, though is not looking for weapons, more so information. What would you two be doing at the current moment? High stakes, high intensity, a whole big thing just happened, and this is going to be one of many. So as you two kind of just do whatever you're gonna do. Or, no, we won't speak through feelings, we'll speak through action. What are you guys doing at the current moment?
Like after we killed everyone?
Yeah,
Or-
it has been 10 minutes since the mass murder occurred. And now a lot of soldiers you see are not putting out the fire, but rather just watching it burn, listening for the last few crackles of skin, and people to die out in there. But as for you guys, what would you be doing after Spicy you just killed a lot of people and Eldon? You didn't do nothing.
What time of day is it again? Is it night?
Now
Right?
it is approaching closer to night. You've been walking for a while to get here.
Mhm.
Though still early afternoon. We'll call it only like 5 o'clock, but it's getting dark already.
Yeah, I'm gonna fly above the camp then, like high above, because most people don't think to look up.
Fair enough. What are you looking for, or are you just doing this to kind of get away?
A little bit of both, just like to get out of where I was firing from, and also to get like some surveillance of everything.
Oh yeah, go ahead and give me perception. You're not certain what you're looking for, but you're just looking for something obvious.
10.
10? On a 10, you look out here. As far as you know, you guys are one of the first groups to like be actually sent off into combat because your combat can be done quietly. But as you look around here, you see a large mountain off, maybe 5 miles away, we'll call it. You can see into that kind of distance. And especially as you kind of focus harder here, you see small little things flying to and from the mountain. Um, you didn't pay a ton of attention to all of Ratatosker's like spiel. He gave a whole thing at the beginning of the war, but like you don't need to know that. You think about it for a second. This is the Savoya. The their would you no, I don't think you'd have any context for that word or what that word means. But you simply know that this is the spot that a lot of the enemy's aerial forces are coming from. This is like where they're landing and refueling, getting a lot of stuff ready. Or refueling? As far as you know, you guys are the only ones with planes. So as you look at this site, it's a bit disconcerting, but at the same time, you didn't expect anything less from the Feywild. But oddly enough, as you come up here to escape just a little bit, on the horizon is always more war.
Alright. Um,
Do you stay up there particularly long, or do you just go up to go up and then come back down?
go up and then come back, I think.
As you sort of float back down, we'll say towards Spicy, your loving husband. Spicy, what's up? What you doing?
Is the bear like far? Like
Oh,
come
by
over
this
here?
point, he has like choked out and is hanging from a tree. It's rather horrific.
Yeah, he's like far away from everyone else, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go grab my like grappling hook and shit back.
Oh yeah. You go back up there. Don't cut the guy down, but just kind of untie the rope carefully because you only have so much of this before you finally let the knot go, and he falls hard onto his neck. You can hear it break and shatter as his corpse just kind of tumbles to the floor. Dick might have gone in deeper, but either way, you're reaching into the guy's throat to get it out. So,
Okay. And then, is there like anything on him that I could take that's valuable at all?
as you go through this lieutenant's kind of stuff, you only one to have killed such a high-ranking member here, and to have done it in such a way no one else wanted to go near the body. You, oddly enough, find these coded messages. That's what you can equate them to. You recognize a cipher. You recognize a like coded language when you read it. You were in gangs. You're a thief. This is kind of your deal. And as you go through, you're trying to figure out maybe what this stands for or something else like that. The only thing you can clearly get from this is it says snake over and over and over again. You're not certain what that means, but it says snake a lot.
Okay.
Though, as far as his armor, he was carrying a halberd. He was wearing pretty nice plate. If you want to just take it. Other than that, no, not much.
So is
As you
Halberd anywhere
can,
else?
halberd and plate mail. That's like all that's salvageable.
Cool.
As you kind of move back in towards the rest of the group to figure out what's happening next, you see Eldon descending from the sky. You just kind of holding this code book. You see Rat looks over at everyone else. You can see now the few dots of red that are starting to appear across his green suit. You see he even notices them and prestidigitates them out of his clothing. Looks at everyone. All right, boys, gather up. All right. So, as far as we can tell, right, Tosca sent us here not for the weapons. We picked through the armory a bit. I suppose if anyone wants a goddamn Fey longsword, you can have one. They just look fancy. But really, apparently, what we should have found here was some kind of signal or messages that we're going to go out to stop the and this is verbatim the words that I have been told, the supply snake, which I don't know what that means. I'm gonna ask Ratatoskr later. But for now, everyone just break, take a moment to rest. We're gonna hit one more for the night before we head out.
Alright.
So he just kind of dismisses everyone from there.
Well, that's how it goes, Basu.
Good. I mean, they're like dead and shit. So I did what
Mm-hmm.
was requested.
I saw the. Did you really have to shove one of your wooden cocks down the guy's throat? You couldn't have just
Yeah,
like
'cause
slit
he
his
couldn't
neck.
make noise. Well, he couldn't make noise.
Did he not make choking noises?
It was light choking, but he was gagged enough where. That's why I
He
used the
was
big one.
heavy
He's not
choking.
mostly- I pulled out the 12-inch for him, so
Ah, okay.
he's a lucky man or bear, whatever the hell.
Alright, right.
Hold on, you look over to see a corpse who has landed on their neck, utterly broken and mangled, who no longer. Clearly, like the jaw has been opened and a hand has been forced down the throat to attempt to grab something, as
Mhm.
you just see the remnants of what was once probably a proud bear lieutenant. And just. That's spicy style right there.
That's your husband right there.
That's my husband right there.
Anyways, I also found these little letters on said bear. If you could try and figure this out. I can't
Alright.
figure out the cipher or anything, but if you
I'll
wanted
take
to
a
look
look
into
at it.
you could.
Don't
The
know how
only
much
thing I
I'm
could
gonna
really
do
make
with
out
it.
is snake off of it.
Mm-hmm.
Hold
Well,
on, you have a bit more
they did
basis for
yeah.
language. So you could try. It'll take you a while though.
Alright. And they did say something about what did he say? It was some he just said it. I'm
He
blanking
just,
on it.
yeah.
I hit the supply snake.
Yeah, supply snake, thank you.
And so this might have something to do with that.
Yeah. What do you want me to roll for this, Harry?
For this, go ahead and just give me pure intelligence to try and figure out a cipher to code and language.
12. Not
You
getting
look
it.
at it. You get the basis of kind of what this is. Though with the particular sequence of like whether you're moving up and down the alphabet or whether this is so deep as to code it to God, a number of things that coded language is used for. Though the most common one is baking recipes. And as you look here, this thing is like it is not trying to hide what it is from authorities. It knows what it is. It is pure coded language. And so it looks like pure coded language. That means it is very good coded language because you can't just take an English sentence and try and figure out what it means. And as you are sitting there trying to figure this out, the boogeyman is actively looking over your shoulder. You don't know when he got there, but he's been there. And as he's looking at the thing, he just goes, "Oh, I think that's the thing we need, but you want to keep trying."
First of all, it's still scary that you can do that so quietly. I got nothing on this here.
You hand it over to him. He looks at it. Huh. It'll take me a moment, but no, most certainly we can do something with this. I'll try and figure it out on our next walk, which is about 5 minutes out. I recommend you rest, drink coffee, whatever you need to. Next spot was. Is that the. As he begins to trail off and think. I'm uncertain. Ask Rad if you want to know where the next thing is, but for now, rest for a moment. He walks off with this paper. Um, as you all kind of chill out and sit around for a moment, we're going to cut away from you guys. We go ahead and cut on over to a spot we have just seen. About 5-ish miles due north, we see one Silro trekking along behind a Bodhi and a Richie with a gigantic force. This is not just a small platoon, this is a force of soldiers. And as you are kind of just walking in the front with no rank to be called, no like kind of like authority to tell you what to do here, you're a mercenary, but you're also not doing this for money, you're doing this for a different reason. You don't know where you fall right now. All you know is you see a large mountain ahead of you, and probably you're about a mile out from it now, but you can see that it has been fortified even out till here. And you can see that set up on a high ridge, just near this aerial kind of base, are these large ballista. For anyone who doesn't know what a ballista is, it's a big, big crossbow that they use in defense of castles. And you see lines and rows of these things. As Richie has kind of like gathered everyone off into a small sort of clearing here, you can see Bodhi and Richie are kind of taking co-command. Richie knows what to do in a tactical situation, though Bodhi's also just nicer to talk to right now. So as Bodhi kind of, all right, hey, listen up, y'all. We are attacking the Savora, or Savora. How the fuck do you say that? I don't know. Bodhi, just go. Okay. I'm going to be truthful. As Bodhi, for a moment, drops a kind of gravitas he was carrying and just sort of looks at all of these men and women. We are, I'm sure you have noticed, the largest force taking on a battle today. You have also likely surmised this will mean we have the largest number of casualties and the, well, I won't say it's the most important objective, but I'll say we got to get this done no matter what. Ahead of us is aerial base of operations. This is where they are sending out all sorts of nasty hive beasts who flock together. This is a nightmare for planes. This is also where they launch a lot of Griffin Riders, a lot of other shit that we really can't deal with. So, our goal is to get up to the top of that ridge, begin using those ballista against the enemy. Though I warn you, it will be a mad push up the hill. So whoever is in the front line, be quick. And for those of you who aren't quick, be lucky. Bodhi thinks for a moment. Well, Rich, I wish I had something nicer to say, but I don't really think I do. No. Me neither, Bodhi. Let's just do it. As an exhale is felt, a sort of feeling runs through the crowd, a big feeling of some dread, some just nervous, some do feel lucky or brave or quick, and some don't look that scared at all. But Silro, as you sit here, a cleric among a lot of soldiers, you quickly realize your role. Your role is to keep as many people alive as possible, a thing you probably hate doing. But in this moment, you realize you're one of the only field medics, if you could call yourself that.
Oh, God.
As Richie and Bodhi kind of gather up on their own, a lot of soldiers still very much follow this hierarchy, even mercenaries. So they wouldn't dare approach Bodhi and Richie. So they simply have a moment to themselves. What are you doing right now, Silro? Everyone is steeling themselves for a charge that's going to cost a lot of lives.
Hmm. I'm just looking around at
Anything in
everything.
particular?
No, just around.
Around. You focus less on the people at this moment and go back to the trees. And as you look at the trees, an odd sense of calm once again. You felt this sort of feeling before, though it was surely on a much smaller scale. It's not dissimilar to when when you waited in the woods with James and Jura for that moon bear, though this time feels like a far scarier beast ahead. And as you just kind of look around, go ahead and give me perception.
Yeah. $26.
Very good. You look around here, and on 26, you see a bit up the hill, what would appear to be a ballista aimed down towards the defense of the hill. So at you. And as you kind of just begin to look at the lines and defense up here, it is a winding path up this mountain. It goes up and left and right and left and right until eventually you come up to the peak. But you see, having been built along these pathways that curve round up and down the mountain, you can see tons of different bags, sandbags, other different kinds of fortification that just give more cover. It feels like less like David and Goliath, and more like Goliath versus a small mouse. As you look up and see what can only be terrifying weapons of war, all pointed at you, and you are expected to run at them.
Hmm.
And as that feeling kind of shoots through your body, another one of these feelings you haven't felt in a little while. You are always kind of constantly running on adrenaline as your body doesn't pump that much blood through it anymore. You get another sense. You feel it, your heart pulse, and then the blood move through. There's a warming, odd sensation that sends chills up your spine as it pumps through your veins. And you got about 10 minutes to sit around and do whatever. Would you socialize with anyone? Would you dare approach Richie and Bodhi in this moment, or would you just let them be?
I'd probably approach them. Just I probably wouldn't say much.
Fair enough. As you just kind of move up to them to be included in the conversation, you see Richie has fully taken off his mask. You see deep rings under his eyes that have always been there because Richie doesn't sleep much. But you can see them even more pronounced as he kind of lays back against this tree that him and Bodhi are sitting near. Small campfire going. See him smoking a cigarette, and he looks up at you. Thorough. Hey, pal.
Hey.
Sorry, I was gonna offer you a cigarette before I realized, one, they wouldn't do anything to you, and two, these are all mine. He literally finishes a cigarette in a few goes, throws it away before pulling out another and lighting it. You see again an insight you may not want, but just pick up because very obvious and vulnerable man sitting in front of you. A person who relies on vices, a person who currently just absolutely mainlining nicotine to try and feel a sense of calm at the current moment. And as he just chain smokes these cigarettes, you see tons of different soldiers on the battlefield doing the same thing. As all of them, whether it be constantly saying prayers, moving, stripping apart their weapon and putting it back together, polishing something, sharpening something, all of these people have their own ritual that they begin before a fight. Though you see, much like some others, including yourself, there are those who stand around just looking, not knowing what to do. And so, Rose, you notice this. Richie notices you notice this. Where he just goes, it's a weird way of telling, right? He's been in a fight and who hasn't.
Yeah.
So, oddly enough, I know you've been in fights, but this one's different. It'll always feel different. But I implore you, find a vice, stick to it. It'll keep you from going insane. Or, well, might. Doesn't work so good on me.
Yeah.
Still, he looks around and looks over to Bodhi. Bodhi, you see, has his back to the entire group because he is currently nursing a small bottle of sake that he appears to only keep for himself, and he looks over at you. Would you like to try it?
Sure.
All right. He hands you a gourd filled with rice wine, and as you take it and take a sip, doesn't have the same burn as absinthe that you really enjoy, but there's a sweetness to this, a sort of cherry blossom saccharine-esque quality to it. And as you drink it, usually you just drink to get drunk. But with this, you can see the pleasure in sitting around sipping something. Bodhi looks as you take a drink before grabbing it back. From well, from my home, obviously, but they don't make bottles like this anymore. As he
Alright.
kind of just looks inside the gourd. Yeah, I really should have asked my dad how he made it, learn the family recipe. Instead, there aren't any rice fields there anymore. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm telling you this. As he just realizes he's overshared in the moment, kind of just shuts his mouth and keeps drinking. As you sit here, Silro, just taking in the vibe. Any spells you want to cast on yourself before you go up?
How long do you think we're gonna be waiting here for?
See, Richie looks up. 10 more minutes, I'd give it. For, they're mostly off guard.
I want to cast a spell on someone, but not myself.
Whoa.
Oh, who would you like to cast a spell on?
Can I cast Death Ward on Richie?
Sure.
Sick.
Would you like to do this without him noticing, or would you like to do this with him noticing?
I don't care. I won't try to like hide it or anything.
You simply cast the spell at Richie, who looks at you doing so, and then hears the final words of the Latin you speak to speak out spells. You see him recognize it, but he isn't emotionally mature enough to recognize a nice thing you've done for him in a positive way at the current moment. So he just nods.
Sure.
As Silro, the tension builds and builds until finally, fine. You see, the kind of initial thing that's going to set this off or give you your signal that you need to move. You're going to be staying in the back line for most of it. Again, you are the medic, though. Please feel free to rush forward and join the fight. But as you kind of prep and ready, the thing that's going to set this off is a bombardment from the Hammerfell crew from above. And as we cut on over to them, Amara, you are currently just kind of you have kind of two secure locations on one side of Hammerfell's wing that are kind of just like hooked in via two carabiners. Is there anything else that I would need to say about that? I don't think so. As you, Amar, just kind of get ready, you are not participating in this initial bombardment. They need you for something far more specific, but it's just not going to happen yet. But as you wait here to see this kind of happening, you can see Hammerfell slowly getting ready. You guys are about a mile off. You're about to make your initial descent in. Hammerfell looks down. Mara, hey, you might want to separate off. Those ballista down there do not look particularly friendly, nor do I really want you to be direct impacted by one, so I'd prefer if you just,
Oh.
Do you unhook yourself, Amara, before jumping off? Your own wings batting in the air to keep you up. You move back away, being less fast than these Spitfires, and you simply watch from a distance as the three planes of the Hammerfell crew begin to move through here. Soro, looking up, you can kind of see where they're coming from. You see small black dots in the distance and reckon that's them. And as you kind of ready yourself, you notice Richie and Bodhi notice too. As Bodhi kind of puts on these two rather new looking gauntlets, though you can tell they're still built to top of his old armor that he doesn't seem to want to get rid of. You see these odd magnetic plates in them, and as you see him putting on this weird contraption on his back, you see him kind of steel himself. See Richie put on his mask, put up his hood, breathe out, and a glaze just kind of goes over his eyes for a moment. Before finally you hear it. Before you see it, you hear it. The kind of low whistle that many of these older bombs had. This low kind of I don't think I could actually recreate the noise, but Josiah definitely can't with noise gate. I think you all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, the whistle of a bomb dropping. I think you all know what I'm
Oh,
talking
yeah,
about.
I can do it.
Yeah. And as the okay, go ahead.
I'm not going to do it with noise gate. But I'm the
Yeah.
Wait, can I try?
Yeah, try.
You're
Hold on.
terrible.
God.
I mean, we heard the beginning of the whistle.
I'm good at whistling. I
That
just
sounded like a
yeah.
scream.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it sounded like the beginning of a whistle to me.
I heard a scream. I didn't hear whistling.
Heard a partial whistle.
My whistle is too high of a pitch for even with the noise gate to pick it up. Oh.
As you hear though, Soro, that whistling of that bomb falling, you hear the thud and impact of explosions come in many different shapes and sizes. This one, like a kind of mortar, has a resonant deep boom, something that goes through the ground and then resonates out from it, as opposed to some loud explosion that just kind of sends noise everywhere. This thing buries itself before creating a resonant, deep noise that you feel shake your chest. And as you hear that initial go, time slows for but a moment. As you see the head of Richie turn, he yells something along the lines of "let's go" or "get ready" or "get going." You don't really remember it. All you can recall is the mad sprint you made forwards. And from there, combat's going to get a bit more artistic in the way we usually run combat. Basically, the two people heading this are very much going to be Richie and Bodhi as our main fighters. As kind of just like precautions, anyone with enough military knowledge would know you're being used in efficient ways, but not the most efficient ways, and that is likely because Willie doesn't want to put anyone in the front line like Cloak and Bodhi. Simply because Willie would like you all to stay fairly alive, but the faceless are of a different category than the rest of you. So basically, we are going to run this like each side here has their own amount of hit points. I will be rolling attacks on you guys and on the other team. Once I roll one of these attacks, Silro, you can choose to burn a spell slot and just give a general bit of healing that I'll roll to the group.
Okay.
Or you can, on your turn, choose to rush the field, and if you want to burn a spell slot to do another attack against the enemy team, you can. Just know that you're going to leave some people without a medic. Yeah, I believe that's all I need to say. The starting health for you guys is going to be about 250. The starting health for them is going to be about 300. And keep in mind, I'm making these attacks with Cloak and Bodhi, so this is going to go down much faster than you think. But for now, you're taking them by surprise. I'll say you go first. There is currently no one to heal, but it also might not be worth tossing on a spell slot yet. So I will just simply roll the attacks first. Okay, Cloak does something. Bodhi drags behind a bit, so we'll go ahead and use Cloak's damage. Let's see here. Plus a lot is 40 points of damage to the kind of other side as a whole. As you see Richie, you haven't seen Richie fight in a lot of mass scale combat. You've seen it a few times at, oddly enough, Spicy's wedding. But you see here Richie kind of getting ahead of the rest of the pack as he is hopping up these layers rather than taking the long way round them. And you see, using his monk skills to his advantage, is hopping around this battlefield like a goddamn bunny rabbit. Okay, here's what's going to matter now. These ballista are going to do a lot of damage, more specifically about 7d10 worth of damage a turn. These things are tearing through your force. You have a large force, but they also have a lot of HP because they're very well fortified. Luckily enough, you have powerhouses and a healer. But for now, we'll see. Okay. I'm going to roll those out. Where's the character sheet I have open? There we go. 55. Okay. You guys take significant casualties moving up this hill. You can see Silro as you kind of hang back for a bit for a moment. You see currently Bodhi leading the charge. It looks like whatever kind of magnetic technology he's gotten is allowing him to wield far more than 2 weapons at a time. And he is currently switching between each weapon as he magnetically attaches them and unattaches them from this odd carrying case on his back. And as you all push forward, you can see Bodhi is standing strong, stalwart, but he is being hit by a number of different arrows. You can see a few are landing and sinking in, though they're superficial to Bodhi. But the men around Bodhi get it far worse. As this rain of arrows comes through, a few strike Bodhi, the others are riddled with arrows. And you can see these large ballista bolts are hitting men, but rather they are just tearing up the ground and sending shockwaves through as they thunk into the mud floor here. It is carnage. And as you kind of look around, there are too many people to heal at once. And you quickly realize the sad, I suppose, part about being a medic. The good part is saving people's lives. But the very sad part is sometimes you have to choose who you think's going to make it and who isn't. And in this moment, you look around, you gotta make a lot of choices. It being your guys' turn again, I can roll attack first, but let's go ahead and go with Silro. Do you want to heal or do you want to attack? You guys aren't doing that bad. You've had some casualties and you're helping out best you can, but like you're at like 245 out of 300.
Oh God. I will heal.
Okay. You burn a spell slot. You will heal. Where are all my dice? Okay. Okay. You heal up for about 24 points as you run around kind of most of it is pulling arrows out of people and just patching up the wounds. This happens a lot with a lot of people who look a lot like pincushions. And some more severe injuries. For one man, you see his stomach has been sort of slit by one of these arrows passing by it perfectly. And you can also see his leg has been taken off by a ballista, and he's just not going to make it. And as you walk past him, you get why Richie is the way he is. This is hell. And as you stand here on the precipice, you gotta go deeper in. That's gonna be your guys' turn to attack. Very good. Both Richie and Bodhi begin pulling their weight far harder. Okay. This could be... Bodhi. Very good. You guys deal about 50... Hold on. 56 or 58? Am I missing a 2 somewhere? 56. Okay, I did it right. 56 points of damage out to that group as you see now Richie pulling out all sorts of weird, crazy guns that have been given to him by Henry. We might get into those a little deeper if we ever jump into hard, real combat here, but for now, it's going to be their turn again. Okay. It's only going to be 12 points of damage to you guys, as a lot of the ballista this round don't seem to hit and just kind of scrape off, bouncing into the dirt. Right. As for you guys, Soro, people are still hurt, though they're doing better than they were before. Would you like to heal? Would you like to attack?
I'll attack this time.
Oh yeah. You burn a spell slot. I'll say this does the same amount of damage. Well, actually, I'll let you choose. What level guiding bolt do you want to burn to do some damage here?
Hmm. I'll only do level 1.
Okay. If you go ahead and rip a guiding bolt, dealing 22 points of radiant damage, which doesn't matter. As you fire up. Okay. Looks like it hurts. As you fire off a guiding bolt here, you're just kind of trying to make the shot count as much as it can count. And you can see right now this like semi like ballista, though not quite on the level of a large ballista, this thing that is just constantly churning out shots, killing a lot of your guys. You go ahead and send the guiding bolt towards it, cracking some of the wood, and you can see it has been essentially marked for target. And as Richie and Bodhi see that, you see Bodhi goes up and is able to clear out the little nest that ballista was hiding in. And as he kind of pops out, you can see him try and turn the machine towards the enemy. Just can't do it. So he instead decides, you can make your own ballista if you have enough time. He decides to lift the ballista and push it off of its edge. As it goes tumbling, cracking down the mountain, you see he turns back around to continue up with the charge. You haven't lost too many people, but we'll see what happens when I roll these d20. Okay. Um, You guys only take 14 points of damage as these ballista continue to fire out, and people now getting it begin to spread out far more across the battlefield, not grouping up for any of these archers to easily come out and snipe them. All right. As you guys make a good bit of progression up this hill, Silro, you kind of like sitting behind what is fortified position, which is just like position you have captured from the enemy that is like kind of safe to begin doing triage and other sort of things in. As you kind of are like in this back line now, you see a lot of people still coming through injured, but it's not as nearly as bad as you thought it would be. Do you want to attack? Do you want to heal?
I'll heal.
Okay. Okay, 26. Very good. As you begin moving just kind of through the space, a lot of just like taps with cure wounds and healing words actually solve a lot of really terrible injuries that without magic would actually be far worse. But moving through here, you are helping a lot by keeping your team pretty stable. Hell yeah. Okay. That is going to be Bodhi and Richie's on attack. Both don't pull a lot here. Okay. You can see Cloak and, or sorry, not Cloak, Richie. You can see Richie and Bodhi are currently backed up behind what would appear to be some kind of wooden structures made to be a sniper's nest, but has just like had ballista and stuff fitted inside. But you can see them kind of crouching, hiding behind, getting concealed cover from what would appear to be a gigantic ballista that has gotten notified of what is happening and is starting to turn down the gun towards the men here. I'll go ahead and roll. Okay. $35. Okay. Again, you guys are rocked hard by this weaponry as you see many men here just getting full skewered on what would appear to be like 5-6 foot long ballista bolt as it is literally shooting through people and carrying them off the mountain with them. You can see these ballista are putting in some work against you guys. Sora, it's gonna be your go. Heal or harm.
Heal.
Oh yeah? Okay, 22. You help as many people as you can. You obviously don't get to everyone, but keeping your team solid, stable. That is going to be Bodhi. There you go. Bodhi does something, and Bodhi hits for a lot more than Cloak. And fuck it, Bodhi recognizes that they need a good push here, so he's going to action surge and make this even more dice. Absurd. 56 points of damage as Bodhi single-handedly, you see, begins tearing off pieces off of this sniper's nest, quite literally holding it up as archers begin to thunk arrows into it. You can see his legs are being hit, but a lot of the shots are bouncing off due to his front armor, and he is kind of just tanking a lot of the shit here. If he gets hit by a ballista bolt, that's bad, but a lot of these regular arrows are just not cutting it. Okay, going to be them. Okay. Thoro. So I made maybe not a funny roll in retrospect.
No.
If I hit a nat 20, I would hit someone important.
Oh.
There are 3 important people on the board.
Oh.
The only fair way to do this is to leave it to chance. I'm gonna roll a d4.
Oh, fuck off.
Pick a number 1 through 3.
Oh, fuck off. 2.
2. Cloak will be 3. Bodhi, you'll be 1. If I roll a 4, I re-roll.
Oh, fuck off.
1.
Oh,
Okay.
fuck off.
Best guy to be happening to, but still not great. 2 ballista bolt fire off at Bodhi holding that giant wooden shield. Bodhi takes 97 points of piercing damage
Huh?
as
What?
two
Oh.
6-foot-long ballista bolts ram through a wooden shield. Bodhi catches one before it tears off his shoulder, and the other you see comes at him, but just bare misses. But as Bodhi is off balance, you see it bare misses and slices open one of his sides as he catches himself for a moment. This does not happen to Bodhi often. More specifically, being hurt this bad doesn't happen to Bodhi often. And as he is just like holding his side now, he can feel how deep that ballista scarred through, and that was not good. As
You
Cloak
said it took
looks
off his shoulder. Did he just lose an arm?
almost, you see Bodhi caught the one that was going for his shoulder. The tip makes it into his shoulder. If he had let it keep going without catching it, it would have taken off the arm for sure. And as Bodhi is kind of going to sit here and recoup, you are not going to get his d20 for attack. This is just going to be Cloak. As the ballista don't focus on the group at all, in fact, do no damage to the group, but instead focus on one of the Terminators running around this battlefield. Okay, I'll put it to you. Zero, it is either spell slot to heal the entire group, it is spell slot to heal only Bodhi, or it is spell slot to attack.
Heal Bodhi.
Okay. What level spell slot and what spell are you using to heal Bodhi? As once we get specific, we gotta get into that.
Okay.
For reference, Bodhi looks hurt, but he also looks like he has more blood in his body than you ever will. So, he's hurt, but he's not that hurt.
Okay.
I don't want to meta game by telling you the numbers. He was above 200, now he is still at like a base 200.
Oh. Okay. Second level. Cure wounds. Wait, how is he? Okay, yeah, cure wounds.
Yeah, he's not desperately hurt. As you rush up, cure wounds him. How much does he gain back?
23.
23. Okay. As you rush over, heal the wounds that are keeping him from moving at the current moment. You see you heal along his side, so he's no longer holding it to keep himself steady. And as you look at his shoulder, it's bad, but not so bad he can't move it and still use it. And as you get up to him and begin to heal him, you see him turn to you. Oh, yes, kid, whoa, kid. As Sora, you didn't realize it fully. To run up and heal Bodhi, you've run into the front line.
I figured. That's why I was like,
As you look around, this is the danger zone. I will say in here, on an 18 or higher, I can hit you again.
Hold on. I just want to ask real quick. I still have Death Ward, right?
Yeah, Death Ward still
Okay.
happens. Yeah.
Sick. That's all.
Okay. Richie and Bodhi, now that you've healed Bodhi, he's going to get his d20 to attack. Both do incredibly well, and are going to definitely send out some heavy damage here. $58, hell yeah. As you see Cloak runs up, joins you, but for a moment, wordlessly just kind of helps Bodhi up onto his feet before rushing through into the front line once more. You see Richie fighting unlike you've seen Richie fight. It is as opposed to a lot of visceral smashing of heads against surfaces and other such tearing out throats and being very disgusting. He is running past men, breaking their necks in one fell swoop. He is landing on top of people, curb stomping through before moving to the next guy. He is frighteningly efficient on how he ends lives. And as you see him push through, he runs into what is like a mainline trench of this whole thing, and you see him just hold down the trigger of his shotgun and consistently fire out like a machine gun thousands of rounds as he keeps loading in and loading up his gun. And finally, he clears out one part of the trench as Bodhi joins him. There's still more to go, but that was a very good push by y'all. But now the ballista go. Okay. One of these ballista put in a bit of work, though the others tend to miss. This ballista is frighteningly accurate as they churn out about 4 more shots that take out big groups of people, dealing about 42 damage. None of my 10s have ink in them.
Uh,
Okay. As you all begin another push. Soro, do you want to stay up here in the front line? This is like pretty effective spot for you to be. You know that up in the front line, I'll just say for now, you can add an extra 2d6 onto whatever spells damage you want.
Ooh.
As you are in the thick of it, able to pick out and select targets very well. Or you can move out from the back line, continue healing, or you can heal on the front line. Just know that while you are up here, I have a better chance to hit you with ballista.
Okay. I'll try. I'll crap. I'll heal on the front line.
Okay. You do a bit of healing. This will also be extra because you are right there when the wounds are being made. In fact, Silro, I'll actually
Mhm.
give you a little bit of a character moment here if you want.
Oh god.
And know that you don't have to accept this for it to be a character moment. Saying no is also a way of showing who your character is. You may get a little riskier with this healing. If you get riskier with this healing, I will go ahead and just roll 10d6 right now and add it to all your hit points. Not yours, but just be clear about that. The team's. I'm talking about hit points relatively
Okay.
here.
Okay.
The
Sure.
usual that I'm rolling for you is like 66.
66.
With this, I would be rolling about 10, though, depending on how incredible you think you can roll, it might go up to about 12.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. So, what I'm asking you basically is Silro selfless enough to put a very high risk. You are going to do a lot of healing on the front line. Believe it or not, enemies don't like healers. So, by doing this, I'm going to hit you on a 15 through 20. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to roll a 10d6 for your healing. Or actually, you know what? First, we'll see if I hit you and see if that adjusts the amount of d6 I use.
Okay.
Oh, that's lucky and unlucky. I roll a 19 and a 14.
Oh.
So, I'll first off roll the healing, which will bump up to a good 14d6 as I have a chance of hitting you with a full ballista. Moves up to 255. Okay. All right. Oh right, I should roll the damage because the other ballista did hit your group. It's just not hitting you specifically.
Oh, God.
Okay. And finally, gonna roll a d4 again. We'll keep the same numbers. 1, 2, 3. 1 is Bodhi, 2 is you, 3 is Cloak. Okay. Silro, you take 39 points of damage.
Okay.
Do you go down?
No.
Okay. As a ballista bolt, you see here, you have just run around through this trench and have basically run backwards as you pass Richie running through the enemies. You run back towards the kind of other group. You get to a more open area where it looks like a lot of wounded have dragged themselves behind cover. You just don't pick up on the context as to why until it is a little too late. As you look in this open area and see a ballista trained exactly where it needs to be. It fires, hits the ground hard, and throws you up a good 10 feet, but you land back having cracked a few ribs for sure. But you're not dead. It hurt, but it was close. And in fact, as you hold yourself here, I'll give you the choice again. Want to stick up in the front line? Do you want to move back?
Do I really want to risk it?
There's pros and cons to both.
Crap. I will stay up.
Okay. You feeling your injuries, knowing you can keep going, it's just going to hurt. You decide to hop behind cover as you continue healing people. You see now that ballista you have called out, and people know it's there. It's just going to take a second to get to it. Okay. You're staying on the front line. What are you doing while on the front line? Are you healing or are you on attack?
Healing. Also, I have
Okay.
one question.
Yeah.
With my traits, every time I heal, I gain health. Does that count with this?
This is for what ability is this? I can't actually remember.
Blessed healer.
Blessed healer. You look at the specific wording on it. Yeah. So yeah, if you heal people, I will say, you will get the spells level plus 10 HP,
Oh, okay.
as this is on a larger scale, so we'll up that a bit.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Use to cure and heal. Let me roll for that. Okay. Another 20. Okay, and I'm assuming you're giving yourself those hit points back without me having to say it.
Yeah.
Okay. That is going to move on to Cloak and Bodhi. Okay. You see Richie rushing up to that ballista that just fired on you, and you see as he rushes up, gets behind this gigantic kind of It wouldn't be called the same thing. It wouldn't be called the limbs of the crossbow because it's a ballista, but we'll call it that anyway. As Rishi is kind of like playing a which way will I go with the other soldiers on the other side of the ballista. He realizes something before you see him pull a dagger, cut the rope on the ballista as the tension forces it all to one side, whipping all of these men onto their backs, before Richie just walks up, pulls a gun, and 1, 2, 3. You guys are most certainly taking this place. It is just a question of how many men you're now going to lose doing so. As Richie's going to go ahead and put in the goddamn work for 52 points of damage. Alright. Okay. It's going to move back to you, Silro. For comparison right now, because you've gotten like a moment of no ballista fire on you, you are currently at like 240-ish. They are currently at 90. So given that context, do you want to stay up or do you want to move back?
Stay up.
Stay up. Are you attacking or healing?
Healing.
Okay. Alright. More HP goes to the masses. Okay. I roll a 13 and 11, which still hits the group, but doesn't hit you. Let's see. This was a good turn for the ballista, as they both hit the group equally for about 60 points of damage. As they fire off into this crowd and take you from about, what was that math? 256. Okay. Yeah. All right. As the DM finishes doing basic math that he can totally do well, that is going to move on to Cloak and Bodhi once again. Okay. I'm going to get rid of whatever die I've been using for Bodhi because it's not been great. Okay. But she's going to keep going here. Good damage. Okay. It looks like Richie is now pushing his way up to the top, just kind of hopping through slowly but surely, clearing out small platoons of enemies that he can handle by himself. And you can see he's just kind of systematically taking the camp this way. Very calculated and cold of Richie, which is not how you typically remember him. As for Bodhi, Bodhi appears to be up in the front lines, being a big target for people to kind of look at, try and hit, while everyone else rushes by him. Okay. Silro, they are only about 60 HP. Would you like to stay up or hang back? And I'd also like to say, if you want to make another mad dash of some kind, you can do it again. Just know it comes with the same risks as before.
God, I have so many choices. I don't like it.
It's war. You gotta choose how to fight.
I don't like war.
Well,
I'll
yeah,
just stay up.
you stay up. Okay. You attacking, you healing.
Healing.
Okay. Toss out another healing spell. Um, you notice now as people are starting to get like closer up towards the actual forces, some of the ballista are being abandoned, but this also means that they are now facing a lot more forces of regular, well, not regular people, animal people, but still, they are now actually facing opposition as opposed to people just stationed. Still, the ballista are going to get to go. Okay. As they do quite terribly, actually, firing out. They are having a hard time hitting everyone now that they've gotten so damn close. This is going to be Odin and Richie. Both who uncharacteristically don't do a lot either. Instead, just as they face heavy opposition from the amount of forces now actually coming towards them, they can the Fae can tell that they are losing this position, and therefore some are either trying to make a mad last stand, some are trying to figure out retreat, but they're on the top of a mountain for a reason, and they were well fortified for a reason, because there's not a great retreat. And as you guys kind of sit there locked in a stalemate, Zoro goes back to you. No one did anything that round besides you. He healed a lot of people. What would you like to do?
Um, how badly injured is everyone?
You would see that you guys are hanging around a solid like 190, 200-ish. Less than you were before for sure after that one really good shot with those ballista, but they're still at 60, so better odds.
I will attack them.
Okay. Are you gonna make this a mad dash of an attack, or are you making this just a regular old attack on the front line?
A regular attack.
Fair enough. Oh. Okay, I will go ahead and roll the damage for that. Good. Chip off about good 22. As you can see now, 38. You rush up, guiding bolt one of the larger looking kind of lieutenants. Maybe it's a captain. You're not quite sure. You don't know a lot of military jargon. You just know you see a big minotaur who looks really important and fire a guiding bolt at him. And as Richie sees him marked, he's going to go ahead and try and go for it. Are my rolls getting worse? What was that? That's Richie. Oh no, he has advantage, I guess. I'm gonna roll one more. That hits. Let's see here. Richie again piles out a ton of damage, and you see as Richie levels. I don't know if anyone remembers this name, Maria, the shotgun. At this captain, you see him pull and just kind of aim for a moment before squeezing down on that trigger, and you see this minotaur's head, but for the horns that then drop by its feet, the head explodes off as Richie racks the slide one more time and prepares to keep going. These guys look so incredibly fucked. They are only about on 9. You guys are about on 190. What was the actual number? I did wrong math. 194. Okay. It is the dregs of these guys. Do you want to go back, or do you want to stay up here and finish it off with the front line?
Stay up there.
Okay. Do you want to heal or fight while you're still up here?
Yeah, I'll fight.
Okay. As you cast out one last guiding bolt here, you can see now, Richie has moved up to the main compound, and you see him. Now you can actually see the guns he's using. It looks like two dual-wield Mausers, as he is kicking down doors of various buildings up here, dragging people out before blowing their heads off. You see he looks around. Just behind him appears to be someone who snuck up on Richie, which doesn't happen. But as Richie is kind of absent-mindedly just looking down the mountain at what has happened, Silro, you throw out a guiding bolt at this one assassin before they can plant some kind of horrid dagger in Richie's back. And as he turns, levels his gun at you, and looks like he's about to squeeze and put a bullet through your skull, he stops, lifts the pistol. Are you on the front line?
To help?
Help? Okay. That's... Richie, you can tell, has some words for you in this moment. You are not here by your own willing choice, and he can recognize that, which is likely why he doesn't say anything. But as he sees a person who he knows and cares about on the front line, does save his life, but is out here, Richie looks upset and simply reserves himself once more like a soldier. And just go back, help with triage, help with wounded.
Okay.
As you leave Richie, he looks around the compound. People that are still here are surrendering, likely just engineers or other such members who aren't actually here to fight. You see Richie just take off his mask, put another cigarette in his mouth, and light it up. You know, probably the first of many. And as you walk away how you started, from just another sad soldier smoking and drinking, you see Bodhi is currently picking through the dead, trying to find anyone who is just breathing at all, kind of helping out the cleanup crew. And as you move back, Silro, your job is not done. For the people you can save, you can definitely just only use medical supplies. For the people that might be a bit harder to save, you go ahead and try and use your magic to the best of your ability, but some people can't be saved. And as you sit here in a place filled with death, Silro, it is unsanctimonious. There is no sort of hymns of any dark music that goes on here. There is not some spooky sacrificial dagger. There is not some men chanting in dark robes. The death here is not that feeds Baal or anyone else. In fact, you get an odd comforting feeling, as you don't know what James is actually the king of death of. You don't know the specifics. But in this moment, as you look among a lot of these dead soldiers and mercenaries who some have religious symbols, but a lot don't, you can tell the ones who didn't believe in anything, they go to James. And as you sit there with that heavy realization in your heart, we move back to Eldon and Spicy, who quietly walk through the woods, and move again from them as we see Amara sitting back on a plane. Moving again, we now see a far easier sight. Ezekiel, you are kind of blundering around with this machine. It is hard to use this armor for sure. The magic item itself was like a pain in the ass to make, so I was just like, I'm just gonna tell him what it does, and we'll bring it up when it happens.
Okay.
But just for now, your strength does not change. This is a prototype model, so it only gets your strength up to 26. Any further than that, and you might risk, breaking your bones when you try and punch something. But for now, this will give you a base AC of 20.
Okay.
And this shield you carry along with this sword. This shield is massive, and instead of the regular roll +2, it gives you +4. As you are running around comfortably rocking a 24 AC.
Oh,
At the current moment, you haven't been called in to help anyone. It sounds like whatever happened at the mountain with Silro, Richie, and Bodhi went off with, not without a hitch, but it went off and happened. As for the rest of the kind of group here, sitting around Ezekiel is a ragtag group who, well, we might just recognize a bit as we see Farron, Benji,
Oh my
Stefan,
God. Oh,
Ozzy
my God.
all sit with Ezekiel here. Everyone just kind of chilling, waiting for orders. Ezekiel, you have command here as you have the most military experience. Though, far be it from any of these guys to actually care enough to listen to you. As you all sit around a campfire as the darkness begins to encroach upon the Feywild here. As you all just kind of sit around. Oh, icebreakers?
So you guys,
I mean,
like don't have memories? Is that your whole shtick right now?
like I remember all of them for some reason. Don't know why, but you're new.
Ezekiel? Hello?
Is Phaleth there?
Aelith is not. Aelith is back
Oh.
off helping triage and medical.
So how many? Holy fuck! How many of them are there? Like, how many of us are there?
Is it everyone except Valeth?
It is everyone except Valeth and obviously Quintus.
Okay.
So,
You all just kind of sit around awkwardly looking at each other. Do you guys want to roleplay this out, or I can cut away? But
I don't
roleplay
wanna
this out
try
sounds
to.
very funny. Please go for it.
so
So
I think it'd be pretty fun to fight right now.
I have big suit. I want to punch, or shoot, or stab, depending on what comes up
impressive
first.
suit.
Fair
You
enough.
compensating?
Whoa, holy little man!
Hey.
God, what's up with the short one?
I mean, I'm not gonna judge. I'm just asking.
That's none of your business.
Compensating.
The former raccoon's the one that made the suit. I was just given this, but okay.
What?
You know, I would explain.
Former
It would
How
just.
did a raccoon to make a suit?
He made. I'm assuming he invented about 80% of everything around here right now. Listen, the more I explain it, the more questions you'll have. So,
Yeah.
Okay. I'll stop.
you guys just know each other. Nothing else. Just
For
you,
some reason.
you guys, you four right here, that's it.
hmm
Oh, lovely, okay.
I don't even know how helpful I'm gonna be in this. My magic kind of isn't working as well.
Oh, hey, you should fix that. Kind of important, you
Yeah.
know.
don't know where my patron exists in this universe.
Oh.
I don't know.
You see, I went the genie route, so it just taps
Huh.
the gauntlet. Yeah, I got this thing. Yeah, there's in there all the time. Kind of a bitch.
Yeah, no, mine is they're an archfey.
Oh!
Not on the side we're fighting, from what I've been told.
Question: who told you that?
Them.
Ratatoska or whatever.
It's sick thing.
Okay, Ratatoska.
Like, oh,
I
okay,
couldn't
so an
remember if it
informed
was my
person.
actual patron or Ratatoska. I was pretty sure it's Ratatoska.
Okay, so an informed person. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Because about 30% of work around here is guesswork, from my experience. So, that's good to know. How'd you get here?
A great question.
I
I woke up in front of this guy's
Willie.
Willie. I woke up in front of Willie's shop
Oh,
and was offered a job. And I need money.
you know what? Sounds like it. Honestly. So, what's your guys' thing? You're a warlock. Okay. You. Insert next person who would be to his left.
Who's left?
Anybody.
Okay.
No one said a name. I can't call people out. This is your time to speak up.
I don't know. I don't know what's. I don't
Okay,
know what
you,
else-
stuttering over your words.
Talk
What's
about
your thing?
What's your thing? What's your shtick?
I don't know. I like
We're
to hit
warlocks. I build
stuff.
shit. Okay, you're a fighter, barbarian. Are you the Anglican hit stuff or the skill? Okay.
Like to hit and shoot stuff.
Oh, guns. We like guns around here.
Really? You guys have guns? I want
Uh,
guns.
Yeah, this gauntlet's a gun, actually.
Really? Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna like
Looks
release the lever, and then I'm also gonna be like, yeah, I also have a flamethrower on the bottom.
Holy shit. Oh my god. Where can I get one of those? They have no. I can never get any new guns where I'm from.
I literally designed and built this myself. I'm the inventor of this, so yeah. Actually, there are 2 more somewhere here. I actually don't know where the other 2 went. But yeah, when you're trapped inside the Tesseract, we made 2 more. So there's technically 3 of them
Yeah,
now.
we got to watch that actually.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Hold on.
kind of funny.
What now? Just whole time? Or part of it? What?
Oh yeah, we were just at Willie's. Willie? Loki now? I'm confused.
TBD.
Anyways,
I think it's both.
yeah, like this giant circus tent, and there was this big glowing screen, like command center thing, and we were just watching
Hmm.
what you
Sounds
guys are
like-
doing.
Like casual late night television or something.
Well, I
You're
mean,
just
there was the
watching us.
impending doom of war and all that, but yeah.
Oh. Yeah, well. Nice you guys got to sit back, watch some TV while we were dealing with all that. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pretty entertaining, to be honest.
I bet it was. I bet our almost death was pretty entertaining for you guys.
I don't know. I kind of stopped paying attention and was talking to my stick.
I don't need to know. I don't need to know what you do in private. That's.
Anyways, this is Staff. I'm gonna turn him into a snake.
Hold on. Hold on. Okay, what does that have to do with anything of you talking to your little man?
Was talking to the stick.
Looks at the now snake. Looks back
He was
at.
talking
Look
to the stick.
what the fuck?
You don't expect it to talk, do you? I don't know what you offer. You look at the snake and the snake look back.
I know, no. I look at the snake, I look back at him, and I'm like, this doesn't justify you talking to your stick. I thought you were making the snake
Look.
talk right there. I'm like, wait, what? Why can it talk?
Anyways, this is Staff. His name is Staff. I tried to give him a different name.
Uh-huh.
He wants to go by
Did you?
Staff.
He's
Yes.
really lazy.
I actively asked him if he wanted a different name, and he said no, Staff is fine.
Low effort, dare I say. So
Oh,
you
God.
just okay.
App is pretty chill. He likes eating rats.
Huh. Oh wait, hold on.
He's kind of scared of frogs, though. I don't know why.
That seems odd for a snake, but okay. Um.
I have
Now
this nagging feeling like I should remember why, but I can't.
that's not ominous in the slightest. So, y- quick question. It's just the animal rat. Possibly not like a small creature named rat would also not be on his menu or appetite, right? Can you make
Uh,
sure?
No, as far as I'm concerned, it's just like animal rats.
Okay, fire. Because otherwise, we gotta warn a friend of ours.
You know a person named? Oh, actually, I met Rat.
Yes, he
I was
is.
gonna say, I met Rat.
He is small and also named Rat. So
Yes,
you know
he's
what?
Kobold.
Yeah.
He's not that small.
Okay.
There we go. Point of DM inspiration again, because that's fantastic.
I love how she already has one
The most
too.
obvious yet perfect joke.
I love that. Where did that voice come from? What?
He's not
Amara?
that
Oh my god.
Oh, speaking of that voice, Bailiff, you get a burning feeling in your ears. I don't know how that works for some reason. As you kind of look around, you are sitting down, relaxing for the first time in a while. A lot of the triages that have been sent back, by now, either the medics on site have dealt with it or they're not going to make it back. As you kind of sit in this now, what does Bailiff wear when, in war and not in a very nice dress?
Very nice dress.
Doesn't change.
Hell yeah. No matter what.
Got
An
her standard.
odd contrast appears as a woman in a gown full of moonlight sits now among a lot of dark greens, browns, beiges, a lot of standard issue military things that in themselves never give off a lot of color because they don't want to. And as this almost radiant saint like figure, it looks like, because of this dichotomy, sort of takes a moment to herself. You can see like an open bench just near whatever this bird guy is who was talking to Rat earlier. You don't really recall his name or anything, but no, only open seat. And as you take it, he looks over to you. Oh, there. You must be a bailiff, right? Doing a lot of the medical around here.
Yes. Birdman.
He you can call him a boomstick, as he holds out his feathered arm for you to shake.
Fine.
As you see, Boomstick, of course, has a boomstick, a double-barreled shotgun on his back. As he is kind of leaning it right on his left side, we'll call it, as it kind of rests in the air. You see him smoking a rather large cigar, which in his bird maw looks kind of weird. But as he continues conversation with you, it is polite yet still engaging, and you can tell this guy knows how to hold a conversation with someone and has clearly been in polite society before. A welcome change from a lot of the people you interact with on the daily. And as you just kind of sit here, chat, Athena, you have just gotten done with a ton of stuff. You've been a horse for a few hours, moving down supply lines. You have been guiding different kinds of fairies and stuff that can cast little spells here and there. It has been a day of just insane crap. And you see, oddly enough, on the left side of Boomstick is an open seat.
Oh. is there
Oh.
now.
You must be Athena, correct? Boomstick, Valeth, if you didn't want to introduce yourself.
Hello.
Good to
Oh.
meet you.
Hi.
You've been, I'm sorry, you've been a horse some of the day. I'm trying to,
I was a war horse to be particular.
war horse. My
Yeah.
apologies, I did not mean to offend.
I'm taken.
Well, I thank you for your service. Wars don't get one without no supply lines. You can see Boomstick is, like many soldiers struggle to do, is trying to find some point of conversation that won't lead to talking about the battle or what happened during. And you actually see, as you look around you, you three, in this current moment, you just see a lot of quiet soldiers, either sitting, eating, some with 1,000-yard stares off in the distance, others you can see chain smoking cigarettes, as is quite common. As you all just kind of sit there, take it in, Boomstick, see I'll excuse myself, as he stands up and you see moves off with another crowd of what look like similar sort of cowboys to him, as he kind of takes his hat off of the top of his rifle that was resting there, places it on his head, and moves off. As you two just kind of sit there, enjoy some civilized, polite
It's me
company.
and Valeth?
You and Valeth.
Oh my gosh. I love your dress. You're so pretty.
Thank you. What's it like being a horse?
Oh my god, it's so fun. You get to clip clop around. It's great. You can run real fast. Oh my goodness. I just love animals in general. They're very fun. Being one's
Mm.
even better.
As the conversation continues, fades out at some points before picks up again as one of you thinks of a rather fun question to ask the other. Two adventurers sitting here trying to focus on the fact that you are currently soldiers. As the mind's eye of the audience cuts away once more to a scene of intense action. We currently see sitting in a sniper's nest, though not actually sitting, laying down on his stomach, is one Henry Hammerfell. He is breathing heavy as there's a clear and obvious bullet wound in his left shoulder, as he is breathing heavy, looking down the scope of his rifle before sending a shot off through the air, and you hear him go, "All right, third one, spot's compromised. Are we ready to move?" Just outside, Henry hadn't noticed it because of his intense focus, but we hear gunfire going off as one Quintus Demetrian is trying his best in a world full of people who want to kill him. He is currently holding behind cover, about 4 shots left in this rack on the M1 Grand. And as he is looking over, there are far more than 4 to 8 people out there. He bangs his head against the back of the cover. No, we aren't. Fuck, I wish I had a grenade for some reason. As we cut away again to see Quintus laying in the dirt in a nice suit with a gun up to his cheek, ready to fire, and Henry Hammerfell now walking outside, appearing to pull something off of his belt before leveling it at the group. And as we move through these different scenes of war, though now much of it in respite, we'll go ahead and end tonight's session here.
Wow.
Mm.
We didn't always get to everyone. Trust me, I have stuff written out ready for everyone. Everyone will get their moment of role playing cool. Especially Omar, I think the next session is going to be a lot about you. But for now, we are kind of doing this vignette style, focusing on different squads' goals and what they're doing. So we're gonna chop it up a bit and be a little more chaotic in how we do this.
Yippee.
But I hope it's still fun.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
chill.
actually like to switch this tradition of you guys asking me horrible questions before we start D&D. How about after we do D&D to maybe alleviate some of the sadness that may come in the coming sessions? It is war. How about you guys ask me a fucked up question afterwards, and we can go ahead and laugh about that before we get off.
Fair.
I like that.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Don't
just
have a good
score.
one now.
Right now.
That's fine.
Give me a question of the day.
Question of the day.
The question of the day that makes Harry regret saying yes to DM.
Try and baffle me as hard as you can. I want to know.
I don't know if we can
They're
beat how much
creative.
Magic's in Puck Balls. I actually don't think we can beat that.
That's a
That's
crazy one.
rookie.
What was the one
day one was crazy.
Yeah, what was
I
it last
believe
time, Michael?
I
What was
this-
wonder.
No, you
What
say
was
it.
the second one?
The second one was asking if the venom cock, when detached, was still a homunculus.
Oh, yeah. that's
Oh.
right.
Falcons.
Worm or what was the verbiage you used?
If it throbs.
Run me real quick. Yeah, thank you.
Throbbing.
Do it, Rob.
Stop, that's terrible.
Oh my
So
God.
wait, we're doing it again
Right on.
Friday. Yeah.
Friday.
Friday.
Okay, 'cause I work the next 2 days.
Unless anyone has a really weird question to ask you right now.
Oh,
Mm.
I don't got anything. I'm not creative enough. I could never come up with how much magic is in Pug's balls.
That was so
Just
funny.
need something like equally as childish and funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember the question that Bodhi asked Elton. Do you think James can control what size it is? That'll
Oh,
be a funny one to answer.
Now knowing that Willie's actually Loki, can he? Surely.
Sure, yeah.
Sure.
That was an easy answer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's an easy
Yeah.
one.
Yes. God of trickery and mischief. Yes.
Can you
he can
cast
control what
enlarge
size
on
it is.
just your dick?
No, but if you cast enlarge on yourself, you're also enlarging your dick. So, you know.
So Snake Lady was fucking Loki?
Yeah.
Because that's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
If only I could remember.
Snakes and Loki.
Okay.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
good
yeah,
point.
no, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That was the symbolism.
Oh my goodness. You didn't put that together.
Yeah, no, I wanted the snake lady because I was like, well, how do I not be too obvious about it? But also, how do I like hint at it? And I was like, oh, well, that's like a funny thing Thor talks about how Loki becomes a snake and then stabs him, and then
Yeah.
goes back to being a snake.
Mm.
That is the thing.
Though to be fair, I feel like anything that Chris Hemsworth says in like a rapid fashion while in that Thor voice is pretty damn funny.
Mhm.
And I picked up the
Except-
snake to admire it because I love snakes. And then he stabbed me.
We were 8.
We were 18. Best part.
It's crazy he talks about this thousands of years later. Like-
I'll hold the
It's like-
grudge. I'm sorry.
I picked up the snake and he was like, ah, it's me, and he stabbed me.
Oh.
Such good line.
I want to see Get Help actually done in D&D.
It's possible.
Get help!
It's so possible.
Help him!
Wait,
It's just
what?
performance and
Yeah.
deception. It's so easy.
I'm thinking of
And
something.
athletics to throw the guy at the other guy.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Hey. I
Zumvala does get
feel
help
like-
with Eldon, but instead of like holding him over his shoulder, he's just carrying him like a baby. And then just chucks him overhand.
The Wolverine and Hulk thing.
Yep.
The fastball special.
Special.
Again.
Fastball special Eldon at someone.
Yes.
If like I remember I was like creating my like Athena and her lore and everything, and I made all the names Greek gods.
Yeah.
If Loki like the god Loki exists. Why
Well,
can't
who's to
like
say the Greek gods don't?
yeah, that's because when I made them, you're like, nah, they don't exist in this universe. I'm like, oh.
You said something about
I
Jesus
lied.
Christ,
I'm
but
sorry, I
then-
lied.
but,
I straight up lied to your face.
He also said Jesus Christ
Feel
doesn't
bad about
exist,
it.
so
yeah,
Yeah,
he
that's
also
true.
said
It was
Jesus
only Dawn
exists, and then
Father.
he's the Dawn Father. So
Well, yeah, but then in character, Harry said Jesus Christ, and I was like, "You said it," and then he was like, "Ah,
Yeah,
shit,"
yeah.
and I'm like, "Now it's canon."
I
Oh no,
said
it
He's
was
like,
always
okay, you know
canon.
what?
He was just
Now,
waiting.
Yeah. It's like, this isn't as good of a reveal as actual Jesus. But
I mean, Jesus.
I think it was
still.
great.
A man who can turn water into wine at a dinner party.
I wouldn't even describe
Yeah.
him that well. I would just describe him as like kind of a hippie with like longish hair, darker skin, drinking wine off in the corner. Then you also see him drinking a cup of water. Appears to be here because of some sort of religion he like started and founded, or some sort of ideology.
Yeah.
Really, it was just like kind of very turn the other cheek sort of deal.
Mhm.
And it would have been Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no. Fair.
Amen.